What's up, Internet? This is Jonny Anderson here with Andre, and you'll notice something new. You can see our faces. Also, you can notice something new in the bottom right. We have a guest on tonight.
Hello.
So, if you don't know this man, this is Constantine, the mad scientist behind Nisei.
I was wondering what kind of name you're going to use. The time killer? The weirdo?
I mean,
mad scientist is just fine.
The nicknames they could probably come up with me over here, I probably don't want to hear. But we're here bringing together another kind of different deck. I mean, that's what we're getting known for. And I've been kind of following this deck as it's been built through. Oh man, you've been working on this for how many months now? Years?
Quite a long time, actually. Since last year, last year summer, I played it for the first time in the Belgian Nationals. So, yeah. And that was the first time. I built it a day before the Nationals, and it just did well on the first day. So, but I was already playing some Andromeda before. I had some experience. I mostly played Kate, but I played Andromeda on 2 tournaments in total. And we have a really big criminal meta. At least we used to. So I knew what to include right away in that. I mean, I knew because of my opponents, not because of myself.
And you speak of your meta. For people who don't know, where are you located right now?
I am in the Netherlands. I am Greek, but I am the person behind that community. I'm the guy, the main TO and the main organizer, basically. And yeah, I mean, we have a really diverse meta, nationality-wise. We have a lot of people from all around the world. So we have a Croatian guy, we have a Hungarian guy, we got a Greek guy, we got a Scottish girl, we got all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice.
All right. Well, let's kind of dive down to this deck. Let's start with your breakers.
Let's start with the ID first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's rewind to the ID again. I'll just click on this for people who don't know who this is.
Yeah. So there is a very big question. Just as I said with my Nisei, every time they ask me why do you play this ID? There are so many other better things, obviously. But the thing you have to realize with Netrunner, and it's kind of a given, that some people don't really realize it if they're new players, is that you should be able to just create your own kind of playstyle. If you're just going down the same path with other ones, with other players, it's cool. You learn to play the game, you learn to play some really good ways to play the game. They're effective for a reason, I mean, they work for a reason. Mm-hmm. But if you play Silhouette, you have to get out of the sense of playing Andromeda or something else, because it's just something entirely different. Just like you would play Lila Patel, and you play kind of a waiting game, waiting to flip a knife sometimes, or just like with the gang sign decks. With Silhouette, you have to understand that it's a totally different kind of game style, where you have to face check, you have to have good knowledge of Corp ice and Corp strategies, and you need to be able to make good use of your cards, because they're very limited. Just because it's a 40-card deck, it's not like Chaos Theory, which just runs really fast and creates all these big programs. It just runs with all that money. It's all about tricks and stuff. It's all about making the right run at the right point and making the right amount of pressure. It's like knowing the runner game and the core game to play Silhouette, in my opinion at least. Mm-hmm. So the main question that people ask me is, why not play Andromeda? I mean, if you're playing it for the 40 cards in the deck, why not play Andromeda, which draws 9 cards and you have more options at the start, which is by far way better than playing Silhouette, who has 0 link. And might not get the right things because he's a criminal. And in criminal, you need real specific cards to start the game. But Silhouette allows you to expose, which is a super big deal. Most people are not used to playing around the expose at the moment because there are no other cards in the game that are played. They're not played, let's just be fair.
True.
You never see an expose card, right?
No infiltrations, no satellite uplink?
Yeah, no satellite uplink, no, what's the other thing called? The
Lumia Codecracker?
Yeah, the Lumia Codecracker, which is amazing, by the way. I played it in what's it called, in Andromeda. It was amazing.
We played in Cube.
We played in Cube.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really nice sometimes, especially in Cube. I mean, where you don't really don't know where to play. Yeah, exactly. You don't do anything, so you can't really count influence and stuff there. Mm-hmm. It's basically like an expose ability, and the most important thing, just to put it out there, you just run its Cube, and if they have an ice, if they don't res it, because they think, I'll hold it for when they account siphons, you're still going to see what it is, allowing you to know what you need to break it. So Special Order immediately becomes a 10 times better card than it was in any other criminal deck. Yeah. Because you just know it. So it's great.
That's one of the plays against account siphon. Like, don't
Yeah,
risk
exactly.
HQ ice.
Yeah, which is really smart. It's still the way to do it, right? So Silhouette just breaks that. And I mean, the reason why I played Silhouette, at first I played it because of the expose, and then I'm like, oh my god, I can actually play Blackguard. And I did try Blackguard, and it's bad. It's amazing. It's a very broken card, but it costs you whatever credit.
Yeah, and how are you going to
Criminals cannot find. And to be fair, if you build your deck around one card, it's always going to go bad.
Yeah.
So basically, I played for the expose, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, hey, this says 40 on it. Like, that's pretty good. I never tried a small deck. Let's try a small deck. And it just worked. I mean, it was just really nice. You just play a very efficient breaker suite, and it just works. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the reason. The reason why you play Silhouette is because it's the exposes, and it allows for so many plays. Even in the current meta, with a little bit before the current, where people play a lot of news teams, I saw so many installed news teams, and everybody was going mad. They're like, "Oh my god, Silhouette is bad! You keep exposing all the news teams." Like, really nice.
I mean, now the Haley artist colony kind of like pushed it out, but like while that was a thing, now that I'm stopping to think about it, it's that playing across from Silhouette definitely seems very annoying.
Like, even in like your
very
clickbait deck, where you just keep slamming things in that server,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, well, I'll keep attacking HQ and then see what's in the server.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, like the still smart play to do as a runner is to boost other servers as well, so that they're forced to res. And if they don't res, if there's nothing behind there, then they shouldn't res. If they do res, it's in their bad interest, because they're spending money, which is what I want, why I run there in the first place. So if they just allow me to go into HQ and check everything, okay, I'm cool with that. But if they don't, I'm just gonna go check the server myself. And if it's like, just an Adonis, sure, I just went in for free, or you res things and spend money, which gives me more time to build up and pick up more cards that will break you later. So that's basically the plan. I mean, that's why I said that you basically need to learn how to, you need to know how to play runner and core in order to play Silhouette. Because it's very in-your-face kind of ID. I mean, I've run into Cominus trying to go into HQ.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. I mean,
that's gonna happen to everyone that's not called like narrow. That happens to everyone.
Also, if you run into Comino, you want to be sure, like, after I run to the Comino, I was like, okay, that's not bad, as long as the cards that I lose are not important for the later game. Because if I run into Comino, I don't want to have one of my one-off breakers, for example.
Yeah.
That would be bad. So if I install the things that I actually need for the late game and just trust some insights over whatever, then that's fine. I still went through the Comino when I expose something, I know what the ISO and HQ is, so I'm cool.
Yep. Alright, well, let's look at the breakers since they were just mentioned. I mean, Corroder, we all know Corroder is good.
Yeah.
I hate Corroder. No, for real, because it's like the staple barrier breaker, and everybody just knows you're riding it. I mean,
I was thinking of that because like the design for code gates, like you can pick a code gate breaker, like and you can pick a sentry breaker.
Yeah.
Can't
There are a
really
lot.
pick
barrier breaker.
I spent so much time trying to make Black Hat a thing in my K deck, but the worst thing is that all the hardware that gives you stealth credits for a specific kind of breaker, like Dyson, not Dyson, what's it called?
Dyson Fractal Generator, I believe.
Yeah, thank you. That one costs 3 influence, and so does Silencer, and so does Lockpick.
Yeah, so you can't have them all. You gotta like pick.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like it already damages the deck a lot. You can't really include that. Whereas cloaks, as you can see, are only 2 influence, so they're way easier to put in, and they work for everything. So
And
it's
it works
way
with
less.
Rotor too, so
Yeah, exactly. So it's just amazing.
Although I have found a different one, a different barrier breaker, specifically against Eli, which is the E3 feedback implants. Which
Does it work still?
No, just E3 feedback implants.
Just E3 feedback.
Now Eli's are just 2 clicks credit, which is like way easier than the 4 credits. Like when I'm playing Eli, because I'm playing a lot of criminal. But like that's it. Besides that, but anyway, so that's obvious. And then you have the two stealth breakers, Refractor and Switchblade. So why'd you decide to go with stealth over a different kind of
I got tired of having to break sentries for lots of money. It always just tires me. I used to see Cherugis. It was back with RP. RP was still a thing back then. And I was like, oh my god, Cherugi costs so much. I mean, they spend 6 credits, but still, I mean, they're going to get it back through a Sandy or something. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a way. And I'm like, wow, Switchblade is amazing. Why don't I activate that? Like, let's put like 6 cards in the deck that will let me activate it. So it's like 2 Ghost Runners, 2 Silencers, and 2 Cloaks. And that's why they're Silencers. I mean, they're really important. Switchblade is the most important program that you want to activate because anything else, unless it's Grey Lies, is not going to kill your program. So you're fine. And unless it's a body, of course, but that's another thing that I've been talking about a lot lately. Which is why you were playing things like Councilman and stuff, but yeah. I mean, I'm still learning to adapt to that. Thus far, I always beat the body game, so I don't have a problem. But it's obviously a problem. You're gonna lose one game, and it's gonna damage you like a lot. So
yeah, definitely. That's what I've been finding with Criminal. That like when you're running against like a server that has like a ton of unres upgrades, it's like
there has to be a
so
body.
hard. It's so one of them's gonna be batty, and it's hard to commit because in Criminal most of the time you're running more special orders for your one breaker. So it makes it rough. So so I guess Switchblade is what brought Refractor right. Now that you're doing the stealth, you might as well.
I'm doing the stealth, so Refractor is already effective. And if you look at the entire breaker suite, it's 6 credits plus 2 more to install the cloaks.
Yeah, and then it's great. And also it's just 5 memory for the 5 memory that you get from the console.
It's perfect. You don't need more than that. That's like that's all you need for the entire game. I've never needed more than that. I always liked programs that do fancy things. Like, I was a huge fan of Copycat. I used Copycat in like really big tournaments. I was like, oh my god, it works! Like, it's just amazing. But right now, the meta is so diverse and people use so many different pieces of ice. And that's why I don't run E3 feedback implants either. As much as I like it, I love it actually, it's really good. But HBs no longer rely on those kind of ice. They don't run Eli. They don't run huge Heimdalls. They might run one Heimdall, but that's it. They mostly they might run an Architect, but they will run other kinds of ice to stop you.
Well, also you have Switchblade to handle Ichi.
Yeah, exactly. Which is great.
Switchblade kills Ichi, and maybe other criminal decks that are using like a Mongoose or something. So definitely once you have Switchblade, I don't think you need the E3.
Yeah. And there was like this game in the Belgian Nationals where I was playing against the guy that actually won it. Really cool guy, by the way. And I don't remember his name. Damn it. Anyway, I don't remember his name. He was really nice. He was playing HB and Noise, and his HB was like full of Eli's and stuff. And you realized after the first game, like that we played during the normal rounds before the top cut, that he had to put a lot of barriers on HQ. And I made a mistake. I could have beat him. Like, it was clear that I could have beat him, but I wasn't really thinking at that point. It was a perfect siphon, exactly at 5. But he realized that he has to put a lot of barriers on HQ because that's the only way to make me pay a lot with Silhouette. Because he had like 5 ice on R&D, and I was still getting it. I was just like, just stealth crediting, clicking through one thing, okay, access 3 cards. It was just crazy, it was mental. And he was like, after the game we discussed it a lot, and he was like, I installed so much ice, and I still felt unsafe. You were just breaking through with like spending 1 credit and getting it back from Desperado. That was like crazy. And so to make an HB feel so unsafe with just installing just that small amount of breakers is amazing.
Definitely.
But still, I mean, as you said, I play Switchblade and Refractor because they just activate itself with cloaks. But Corroder, I wish I had something else to play because it's very expected. I mean, you just know the other person is going to play Corroder, and it's very expensive against a lot of barriers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice against the like a wraparound or stuff. Those kind of like binary on and off.
Wraparound, Wall of Static, I don't know, like up to Bastion. After that, it just costs. It's crazy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, you see some new cards in here.
Yeah. We'll talk about those. So, Exclusive Party. So, it's interesting that where you were running a 40 card deck with your Silhouette, now you're running like a 34 card deck.
Kind of, not exactly. I mean, the previous renditions of the deck actually run Symmetrical Visage, and I wasn't still very much sure about it because it's a 40 card deck. I mean, how many times are we going to trigger it? Depends on when you get it, of course. But I removed Symmetrical Visage and a couple other things like the D-Res, the Emergency Shutdown, because as I said, as we were discussing earlier, it's not really needed anymore because Corps just make lots of money.
Yeah.
And if you D-Res something, it doesn't really matter anymore. So Exclusive Party allows you to have an economy boost really fast and allows you to draw a card as well. So it makes the deck twice as fast. I mean, I play tested it quite a bit and I really feel the speed. It's really good. And it's amazing when you just hold one in your hand, and when you don't have any money, you're like, okay, Exclusive Party for 0, and I give 4 or 3. I mean, it's just really good.
Nice.
And a card, so it's not like you don't have answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes it weird on the other side too when you're used to kind of like certain numbers of jumping. You might have to click until you reach 5, and then you get to 9. But if you go
exactly.
to 5,
And to activate your combo as well. I mean, all these things are just great.
Yeah,
so it's a great card. It's a great card.
Okay, definitely. So now that you're talking about speed, you also have Fisk Investment Seminar, which was like a card that first came out. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, criminals draw," and then I know the meta kind of went away from it. So why are
because of NE8s.
Yeah.
I mean, it just gives them answers. I mean, they play Sensi Actors Union and DPS for a reason. If you're giving them cards, they're just happy.
Yeah.
So, but Fisk Investment activates so many other things like legwork, like this Hades art that I used to play with, which was amazing. I won so many games with Hades art and Fisk. That was just amazing. I don't do it anymore because people expect it.
Yeah.
But it was just really good. And Fisk Investment Seminar, I feel even though it gives them answers, it also gives you answers, which is very important. And you just have to go with the thing that, you feel as if your deck is faster. And if you find the things that you need, you might just, still cripple them. Like if you find the Siphon and the right breaker at the right time, then you can do it. And there are so many cards in there that just allow you to do that. So why not play Fisk Investment since it's a 0 for 3 cards? So
I mean, and another instance of it is like we were playing a game, and like I was playing Polana, and I had a face down Nisei with an advancement counter on it, and passed.
Yeah, you always do that. That's the best play. When the other person is going to score an agenda, you just do it. It's just perfect.
Yeah, because now you've given me this predicament of like I could score out this agenda.
Yeah.
And then I have to pitch a ton of cards.
Or you're thinking, like, okay, I drew 3 cards, I don't want to ditch them, so do I play them and just advance the agenda maybe once, or just keep the agenda score for next turn?
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep the agenda score for next turn, you're thinking, okay, he drew 3 cards as well, what if he has the answer to actually get in there?
What if you drew an inside shot?
Exclusive party and things like that, which give you a huge economy boost out of nowhere, especially if it's late game, so you just don't know. It's just very insane.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now it's cool that this deck's like switching the information game the other way. Usually it's the runner trying to find out what the corp's doing, but now the corp really has to be really wary about what you're capable of.
It's classic criminal, but still, like in 40 cards, you can expect anything because the consistency is just amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we're running Inside Job, which is an amazing card.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like you have to. You cannot run without Inside Job, and especially too because they always fear there's a third one, and it just works really well. It activates a lot of things. Like if there are 2 sentries on R&D and you have 2 R&D interfaces, why not do it?
Yeah.
And even if you
why not save the stealth credits?
Well, of course, okay, the situation I'm going to explain, you do have to run first to actually make them activate the ice. But let's say they have 2 sentries, and one is already rest, and you know the other one because you exposed it. You're first going to run, see him res it, and then next turn you're going to inside job, because he's not going to expect it. He's going to be like, okay, he has to look for something so that he gets in there. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to install another piece of ice, he's going to leave it just unprotected or something, and that has happened like every time. People don't think about it, they just don't, they don't see that far ahead. It's just way too much. So you just inside job, break the other one with your stealth credits with Switchblade and just go in. In case you didn't have enough stealth credits, of course, to break both. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
we got legwork, really good follow-up to a Fisk Investment Seminar.
And not only, I mean, one legwork is just a golden, it's just like a golden rule here in our meta. Because sometimes you just have to. You need to find the right time to legwork. And a friend of mine says, you draw legwork, you play legwork.
You just do
sometimes
it.
It goes like that. And it always comes through Fisk, so it works that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but generally it's good to have because even if you play once and you don't find anything, the single thing activates it as well.
Yep.
And they will fear it. They're like, okay, he can legwork. If he has access to HQ, he can siphon, he can legwork, he can do all these kinds of things if he has money. So it's good to have. It's good to have one-offs of events that you can activate at any time with single thing.
I mean, I've legged work turn 1, click 1 versus HB.
No, I never do that anymore. You never legwork click 1. I feel like good players will have a way to protect it. If they don't, they're just unlucky. I'm not going to rely on them being unlucky, otherwise I might just lose the game. Just spending credits or wasting cards thinking that I might get lucky at the start of the game is a bad idea. That's why my way of thinking. It never works. It will may work once or twice. It's like saying, "Oh, open R&D, let's drop an R&D interface." How do you know what's in his deck? What if you draw?
No.
What if you just hedge fund and you just hit 2 snares? I mean, you have to work like in a safe way. Even if you're playing criminal and you're all about burst, sometimes you need to play safe. You will run once, so that he knows that you're an aggressive player, and you're not gonna pummel it like crazy. That's my way of thinking, though. I'm not saying like it's the best, but I just like to. Yeah.
And see, this is why like occasionally we want to bring guests onto the show. It's like, for example, like you were mentioning, like in your meta right now, HP players, a lot of them are playing like the big Bayreuthi clicky through ice, right? A few seconds.
No, they don't. They used to.
Okay. Which is not what we find. Like where right here, it's like that's all I'm seeing.
Like 3 Victor on the 3 HP.
Heimdall, actually.
Oh, back when that was a thing, I used to play Kate with Morningstar, so that was great.
But
they were like, I went to Greece for a regionals event, and there was a guy back then when still CI was a thing, like the first CI deck, and he was playing CI with all these barriers and Hive in it, and I'm like, okay, retrieval run? No, sorry, no. Yeah. I trust something. He's like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, why did you trust it? I'm like, no, it's okay. And then just, my turn comes, and I'm like, retrieval run. He's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, good game. Run into R&D every time. 3 credits, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it shows, like, again, like, the meta differences of, like, I'm kind of, like, again, from my play style, so used to, like, and again, I'm running this out Nero, expecting them, like, if there was an architect over HQ, like, I'm just going to jack out. If there is an Eli, I'm going to click through it and see 3 cards out of their hand.
Yeah.
The Nero plays a little differently.
Yep.
I feel like there you can afford to be super aggressive first. I mean, unless you run into an Enigma,
which is a little awkward.
One thing that kind of ruins your day.
You do run into Enigmas. I mean, running into Enigmas is not as bad. So
yeah, you see that piece of ice for sure. Especially that it's like natural predator Yogg is for some reason on the most wanted list, but that's
we could spend a whole episode on the most wanted list.
It's kind of a good card,
Yeah, I just haven't even seen it before it was on the most wanted list.
Really?
So I guess I forgot.
So,
I guess I'm just different. I guess I'm
different.
I just never saw it for the longest time. It's going back to something you mentioned. You mentioned that corps have like a lot of money nowadays, so that's why you don't run shutdowns. So are the siphons just for your money then, as opposed to
there's not going to be the cases where you can siphon and double siphon or single thin siphon, but siphon is to make you money sometimes. It's just get them a bit lower so that they don't activate big things like Sanson, Biotic Labor with something, or even if they do it, they're going to drop really low.
Yeah, that's what.
So that's not bad.
That's what I'm finding against, like, because there's a lot of asset spam decks that I'm going up against, so they'll just like res all their assets, but like that also kind of saves me clicks in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't have to check every single.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like it infuriates some people because they want to play with structures. It's just like, nope, go to 8. You have to click it.
Yeah.
And Wampa Temple and things like that just ruin it at the moment because they don't really need to have money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let's not talk about IT because I really hate it.
we're in an IG free zone.
They're on the same page.
I love God Marvelous. I love his deck building, but I hate him for that.
Yes.
It was a brilliant idea that he's breaking the meta.
Hits and all those likes. Yeah, not. Alright, so R&D interface for pressure, and then I guess we're picking that over medium because you're already set. Or what's
memory?
Yeah, medium doesn't have. You don't have enough MU, and I really like the idea of having a really damaging virus in the deck because it kind of makes them feel like they have to burst. Even if they have a Cyber Dex virus hit, I mean, they still feel like they need to find it to burst.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, running without a virus is just like weird. I mean, are you really a hacker? Where's your virus?
That's very
because,
valid point.
yeah, it's just nice to have something ticking off, even if it's a data sucker. They're like, okay, that's building up. I need to do something about that.
Yeah.
It's just helping him like crazy. And most viruses are really helpful. Even if it's a Takana, it's just there, it's just annoying. But, yeah, I mean, there's no MU for it. I was thinking, I didn't just think about it. I actually tried it. I played some Coherence tips, which are like the 0 or 1 MU cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great, and it says like when something is trust, you when this is trust a program or whatever. No, when a program is trust this.
Yep.
But I really didn't care about that. I never lost programs anyway, very rarely. It just wasn't very effective. I don't really like them much.
Yeah.
Desperado is really good for a reason. I mean.
Yeah.
Which you're running Desperado, and I guess 2 for influence purposes, and also your smaller decks. I guess you can find it.
2 because even if I played Andromeda, I wouldn't play 3. Even if I didn't cost influence, I don't like having 3 elves. I understand consistency and stuff. I love people doing that, but I'm not of that kind of school of thought.
Mm-hmm.
I just 2 are enough. If I don't find it, I'll play with the other cards. I'll have another card that is just as important and might help me in other ways. I mean, I'm not going to rely on a freaking Desperado to win me the game anyway. So
No.
It's about,
it definitely makes it easier.
Yeah.
I understand that. I know. And
it helps in its own way, but...
Yep. And then we have, Ghost Runners for stealth credits. Same old things.
Political operative, as we said, I prefer Council now. I'm not very much sure about it. I'm still testing it.
Yep.
Same old thing to recur siphons, recur
You can only
legends.
play 2 because it allows you to have like a bigger deck space.
Yes.
I can put other things in the deck, and they always, when you play Siphon and the same old thing, they're like, okay, there's another one in there,
Yeah.
There has to be one more. They will always fear the drop of a third same old thing.
Definitely.
So security testing, good with Desperado, good at making money, lets you push all over the place, and they have to respect it.
So here, you could drop an inside job and do a second security testing.
Okay.
It's not a terrible idea. Because it makes money. Or you can drop the plus grid to do a second security testing. But I'm not very much sure about dropping a plus grid.
Okay.
And the final card in the deck, which is another new card, this actually isn't even
Amazing.
out yet, but the Turning Wheel.
Works on everything. I mean, it's whenever you make a run on HQ or R&D. It's not when you access cards, so it just works. You legwork, you don't find anything, it works. You siphon, it works. Your R&D, you run R&D, even without an R&D interface, it works. I mean,
it's interesting. I think this is when a run ends. Is that you run ends successfully? I think the only other time we've seen this is Dirty Laundry, right? If I remember, no, but Dirty Laundry ends successfully. It's interesting that this is just no matter what. If you click to start it,
the run ends. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you bounce off a piece of ice, which is
increase from grid doesn't work in it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Andre just had a little bit of an enlightenment. Just like,
no, I'm not sure about that.
Wait, let me read over this again. Whenever
Increasing grid just counts it as
successful runs.
A successful run.
Yeah. So it doesn't work yet.
What? Okay.
I was right.
Andre's like,
it's
crazy.
Yeah. Man.
But it's a unique card, so
it's unique.
That's one influence.
It's
good to have. It's good to have.
Worth one influence.
There are interfaces for it, but it's good to have.
No, it's double pressure, and it definitely helps. It helps deck building a lot.
I love how Andrew went crazy. Is like, oh my god, I gotta play this card.
No, I just, it's why is it just ends? I mean, I'll do it.
My mind is
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good. It's good, and I'm looking forward to it. And so I guess that's the deck. So now we can jump into the game.
It's pretty funny how we explain the deck in like 5 minutes. It's like how small the deck is. Like you don't have to play the cards.
All right, and folks, we'll see you in another quick game. Hopefully in a second.